Green Hulk, the most iconic manifestation of Bruce Banner's gamma-powered alter ego, and represents the raw release of suppressed rage and emotional trauma. Born from a catastrophic gamma radiation accident, this version of the Hulk is directly tied to Banner's inability to process anger, fear, and pain. The Green Hulk's defining trait is that his strength increases in direct proportion to his emotional intensity. As his anger escalates, so does his physical power, allowing him to lift mountains, survive planet-shattering impacts, and overpower cosmic-level entities. This makes him less a conventional hero and more a force of nature, unpredictable, destructive, and nearly unstoppable when fully enraged. Despite his overwhelming power, the Green Hulk possesses a childlike psychological state. He craves safety, peace, and acceptance, but his appearance and uncontrollable strength isolate him from the world he often saves. This internal contradiction defines the Green Hulk's role in the Marvel Universe. While frequently misunderstood as a monster or villain, he has repeatedly acted as Earth's last line of defense against extinction-level threats. Stories such as Planet Hulk and World War Hulk demonstrate his evolution from an instinct-driven engine of destruction into a capable leader and symbol of resistance. The Green Hulk ultimately embodies the duality at the heart of Bruce Banner's existence: limitless power paired with emotional vulnerability and the constant struggle between control and chaos. Grey Hulk, a fundamentally different expression of Bruce Banner's fractured psyche, emphasizing cunning, self-interest, and emotional detachment rather than uncontrolled rage. This version was technically the first Hulk to appear, debuting in The Incredible Hulk #1 in 1962. Due to printing limitations at the time, the character's intended gray coloration was later changed to green, but the personality differences remained canonically significant. Unlike the Green Hulk, the Grey Hulk does not grow stronger with anger. Instead, his power level is lower but more stable, allowing for consistent strength without emotional volatility. Over time, the Grey Hulk developed a distinct identity known as Joe Fixit. Operating primarily at night, Joe Fixit exhibits higher intelligence, street-level awareness, and a morally flexible mindset. Physically smaller and weaker than the Green Hulk, he compensates through strategy, manipulation, and psychological leverage. His time as a Las Vegas enforcer highlights his preference for control, personal gain, and operating within systems rather than smashing through them. He dresses sharply, speaks fluently, and embraces criminal or ethically questionable actions if they serve his interests. What defines the Grey Hulk most clearly is his comfort with moral ambiguity. Unlike the Green Hulk, who acts instinctively and emotionally, Joe Fixit makes deliberate choices, often prioritizing self-preservation or profit over altruism. Despite this, he is not devoid of conscience. He demonstrates loyalty to select individuals and will intervene when threats jeopardize his personal domain or those he considers his own. The Grey Hulk challenges the notion that heroism must be noble or selfless, presenting strength as adaptability, intelligence, and survival within a hostile world. Red Hulk, radically different incarnation of gamma mutation, defined by calculated aggression, military discipline, and controlled brutality rather than emotional instability. He first appeared in Hulk #1 in 2008, immediately distinguishing himself by overpowering long-established Marvel powerhouses and employing lethal force without hesitation. Unlike the Green Hulk, the Red Hulk does not gain strength from anger. Instead, his rage generates extreme internal heat, causing his body temperature to rise to the point where it can melt metal, ignite the environment, and overwhelm opponents through thermal output alone. The true identity of the Red Hulk was initially concealed, adding to his menace and mystique. It was later revealed to be General Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross, Bruce Banner's lifelong adversary and a man obsessed with destroying the Hulk. Ross's transformation was the result of a secret military experiment designed to weaponize gamma energy. While the procedure granted him immense strength, it also trapped him in the very form he despised, forcing him to confront the cost of his obsession. Unlike Banner, Ross retains his full intelligence, tactical thinking, and command instincts while transformed. This combination of raw power and strategic expertise makes the Red Hulk uniquely dangerous. He fights with precision, uses lethal tactics, and shows little restraint, often leaving large-scale destruction in his wake. Over time, Ross's role evolved from antagonist to unstable anti-hero. He has led and joined teams such as the Thunderbolts and occasionally fought alongside traditional heroes, though his methods remain morally contentious. The Red Hulk embodies the consequences of turning power into a weapon, blurring the line between hero and villain through discipline, ruthlessness, and unrelenting determination. Purple Hulk, a rare and unsettling deviation from the traditional Hulk mythos, emerging not from Bruce Banner's trauma but from calculated ambition. This incarnation appears in the Ultimate Comics universe, where Norman Osborn undergoes a forced transformation through a volatile fusion of gamma radiation and a corrupted super soldier formula. Unlike Banner, whose condition is the result of an accident, Osborn actively seeks power, making the Purple Hulk a deliberate creation rather than a tragic consequence. This version of the Hulk retains Norman Osborn's intellect, arrogance, and manipulative tendencies, while possessing the immense physical strength associated with gamma mutations. The Purple Hulk operates with intention and strategy rather than emotional volatility. His purple coloration visually represents the convergence of Osborn's Green Goblin identity and the Hulk's gamma power, symbolizing the merger of calculated malice with overwhelming force. This makes him especially dangerous as his destruction is not impulsive but purposeful. Within the Ultimate Universe, the Purple Hulk serves as a major existential threat. He challenges heroes such as Spider-Man and the Ultimates not only through physical domination, but through psychological warfare and tactical brutality. Unlike Banner's Hulk, who often struggles against his own nature, Osborn embraces his transformation fully, using it as a weapon to impose dominance. The Purple Hulk stands as a cautionary example of what happens when human ambition is amplified by godlike power, transforming the Hulk concept into an instrument of terror rather than reluctant heroism. Orange Hulk originates from Earth 295, the alternate reality known as the Age of Apocalypse, where the Hulk's power sources and role are fundamentally altered by the extreme conditions of that universe. In this timeline, the Hulk does not derive his strength from gamma radiation or emotional rage. Instead, his abilities are fueled by absorbed solar energy, making him a completely different type of powerhouse within the multiverse. This change in origin removes the emotional volatility that typically defines the Hulk and replaces it with a more constant, externally sustained source of power. Because the Orange Hulk draws strength from the sun, his power level is not dependent on anger or adrenaline. As long as he remains exposed to solar radiation, his strength remains stable and immense. This makes him exceptionally dangerous, as he does not weaken due to emotional exhaustion or loss of control. His solar-based physiology grants him prolonged endurance, heightened resilience, and the ability to operate at peak capacity for extended periods. In a world already defined by devastation and survival, this version of the Hulk functions as a relentless force rather than an emotionally driven one. Within the dystopian context of the Age of Apocalypse, the Orange Hulk reflects the universe's moral collapse and desperation. He is less a hero and more a living weapon, capable of amplifying the destruction of an already ruined world. By replacing gamma radiation with solar energy, this version demonstrates how the multiverse can radically reinterpret the Hulk's core concept. Blue Hulk emerges when Bruce Banner becomes the host of the Unipower, the sentient cosmic force that manifests as Captain Universe. The Unipower seeks out individuals during moments of universal crisis and grants them near limitless abilities to restore balance. When it bonds with Banner, the result is the Blue Hulk, a fusion of gamma mutation and cosmic energy that transcends traditional Hulk limitations. This transformation is visually marked by a glowing blue form that radiates cosmic power rather than raw rage. Unlike the Green Hulk, whose strength escalates through emotional intensity, the Blue Hulk's power is drawn from the infinite energy of the universe itself. This grants him an extraordinary level of control, clarity, and precision. The Unipower enhances not only Banner's physical strength but also his intellect. The abilities of the Blue Hulk extend far beyond brute strength. Through the unipower, he can manipulate matter, energy, and even aspects of space-time, placing him on a level comparable to cosmic entities such as Celestials or Galactus. However, this form is temporary. The unipower does not permanently bond with its host, and its departure leaves a lasting psychological impact. For Banner, becoming the Blue Hulk represents a rare moment of unity between his intellect and power, where the conflict between man and monster is briefly resolved in service of the entire universe. Brown Hulk, commonly known as Devil Hulk, is a deeply psychological manifestation rooted in Bruce Banner's childhood trauma rather than surface-level anger. This incarnation originates from the emotional scars left by years of abuse and neglect, forming a darker, more sinister presence within Banner's fractured mind. Unlike other Hulks that emerge as physical protectors or emotional outlets, Devil Hulk exists primarily as an internal force, an embodiment of Banner's suppressed fear, resentment, and survival instincts. Devil Hulk is not driven by blind rage. He is intelligent, calculating, and manipulative, fully aware of Banner's weaknesses and emotional pressure points. His primary motivation is protection, but it is a corrupted form of protection that justifies extreme violence and ruthless decisions. In this sense, Devil Hulk sees himself as the only version willing to do what is truly necessary to keep Banner safe, even when he is not physically manifesting. His presence shapes Banner's decisions and amplifies internal conflict. The Brown Hulk represents the long-term psychological consequences of trauma, showing that the most dangerous monsters are not always external. He is the living reminder of the damage Banner carries and the constant struggle to prevent pain from turning into cruelty. Black Hulk, known as Clue, represents an escalation beyond Bruce Banner's rage and even beyond the Hulk himself. This incarnation emerges when the Hulk's own suppressed anger, frustration, and sense of abandonment reach a breaking point. Clue is not a personality born from Banner's mind, but an entity formed from the Hulk's accumulated resentment, making him the Hulk's Hulk. His appearance reflects this excess of fury: black, rock-like skin, fractured with glowing magma-like veins, symbolizing rage, compressed to a catastrophic extreme. Unlike most Hulk forms, Clue possesses deliberate malice and tactical awareness. He is not a mindless engine of destruction, but a focused, calculating force that targets threats with precision. Clue views both Banner and the Hulk as weak, believing himself to be the true expression of power that has been suppressed for too long. This self-awareness makes him especially dangerous, as he attacks not only external enemies but allies and institutions that attempt to restrain him. Clue's existence fundamentally destabilizes the Hulk mythos. His emergence signals a total loss of control, even for the Hulk, forcing heroes to confront a version of gamma power that cannot be reasoned with or redirected. By embodying rage without restraint, identity, or compassion, the Black Hulk represents the ultimate consequence of repression within a fractured psyche. He is not merely stronger or more violent, he is the manifestation of everything the Hulk fears becoming, amplified to apocalyptic levels. And that's the full gamma rainbow. From rage-fueled protectors and streetwise schemers to cosmic guardians and psychological nightmares, every Hulk color isn't just a power upgrade, it's a different piece of Bruce Banner's fractured identity made flesh. If you want more deep dive breakdowns like this, hit subscribe, leave a like, and tell me in the comments which Hulk color you think is the most dangerous, and why.